starting to make some big moves in the transfer window. Filip Kostic of Eintracht and Gianluca Scamacca of Sassuolo look close. Look like they could happen at this point. And these are two sort of signings that West Ham need to make. If they're actually serious about backing Moyes and becoming a consistent top six club, these are signings you have to make. And there are very few risk factors of either of them. With Filip Kostic, another thing as well, look, if you're a club like West Ham and you don't have the resources as a traditional top six and you're trying to break in, you need to take market opportunities and take players who are clearly good enough for a top six club, like Filip Kostic and Scamacca, but for some reason aren't being picked up. And, West Ham, they have London, they have a big stadium, they've got enough money. Take punts on these guys, take market opportunities on guys that have good injury records and have enough in their underlying numbers to suggest they could play for a top four club, develop them, and hopefully they bang, and then all of a sudden you're in a top four race. Tottenham did it. That's what Tottenham did. Toby Alderweireld, Ericsson, Dele Alli took some punts on them. They worked. All of a sudden they're in the Champions League final 4 years later. And with Filip Kostic, I think Filip Kostic's probably the pick of the two. Apparently it's about £12 million. Obviously he's 29, so this isn't like some long-term signing or anything for West Ham, but this is a guy who's, in terms of wing backs in Europe, obviously people will say Bundesliga tax. I think that's a load of bollocks, but you don't put up 13 goal contributions if you're not like talented going forward. And when you look at key attacking metrics, shot creating actions, top 1% in Europe for wing backs. Expected assists, top 1%. Assists, top 1%. Shots, top 1%. Non-penalty XG, top 7%. Progressive carries, top 5%. These are elite output. These are the sort of things that you see Reece James and Trent Alexander-Arnold do. Is what he's been doing at Eintracht. Was obviously key for them winning the Europa League. Obviously, very, very much a back three kind of player. I'm not going to sit here and say I watch West Ham's pre-season. I don't know if they are planning to move to a back three or he's going to maybe just play Kostic further forward. But wherever they play Kostic, it'll be an upgrade somewhere, whether that's on Ben Rama or on Aaron Cresswell. And it feels like West Ham are trying to move to being a bit more of a traditional top six kind of club in their style of play. Bringing in Aguerd from Stade Rennes, a bit more of a kind of ball-dominant centre-back, not similar in kind of style of play to Craig Dawson or Kurt Zuma, a bit more, I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but kind of punt-it kind of centre-backs. Aguerd's a bit more nicer on the ball. And, to be a top six club, you need full-backs with elite output and you need a centre-back that can carry the ball a bit and be calm on the ball. It feels like West Ham are trying to kind of become a bit more ball-dominant, and Kostic will allow them that. And Kostic, for that price, obviously there's not much resale value. But the odds of him flopping are pretty low. Even if he does flop, you could probably sell him back to Eintracht for £7-8 million. There's just so much upside with this, and I'm surprised no other Premier League club's really taken a punt on it. He's a clear upgrade on Cresswell or Masuaku. The fee's a good fee, no issues with it. And with Scamacca, obviously there's a bit more of a risk with Scamacca. Obviously he's overperformed his XG a lot. His non-penalty XG is 10, he scored 16. That's a bit of a concern. Although, had 0 assists, but should have had 2.5, so you could point to that. But the thing I like about Scamacca is, for a guy that's playing in not an incredible Sassuolo side, to be performing at 0.42 non-penalty XG when you're barely getting, this is a guy that's only getting 4.5 touches in the penalty box, yet he's still performing at kind of like elite level rates at finishing. And look, he doesn't do loads in build up. He doesn't do none either. He's pretty well rounded in progressive passes, carries, pass completion, and that. And obviously 6'4", decent in the air. You'd assume he'd be able to adapt to physicality at the Premier League. But to me, the fact he's not getting a lot of touches in the penalty box and not getting on the end a lot of good passes, but he's still basically finishing and managing to get shots. Which, by the way, that's not just a one-season thing. Even if you look at his numbers from the season before, where he scored a lot less and played a lot less, still got a lot of shots, still was performing to a pretty decent non-penalty XG rate, still wasn't getting a lot of touches, by the way, yet was still finishing at a good rate. To me, that suggests he's got good movement. Even in a side where he's not getting touches in good areas, he's still finding space and getting shots. And you'd assume at West Ham, he'd probably be able to get more service than he would at Sassuolo. Maybe he won't be able to adapt to the Premier League, who knows, but I think his numbers suggest that, obviously gone up a lot from the year before, suggests he's on an upward trend. 23 is a good age, physically ready for the Premier League, clearly a good finisher. And look, Sebastian Haller didn't work out, and maybe Scamacca won't, but at least if you're a West Ham fan, you can't say that the manager hasn't been backed. They're two good signings, right ages for both of them. I don't really see any issues with either of them. Of course they could both flop, but odds are probably won't. They've both got enough underlying numbers to suggest they'll succeed. It's just nice to see West Ham backing Moyes. He's earned it on a pretty shoestring budget, and if Scamacca and Kostic do work with Aguerd, all of a sudden I don't see why West Ham couldn't go far in the Conference League and couldn't finish top 6 again. It's not like Man United have done anything. It's not like Arsenal have done anything really impressive outside of Gabby Jesus. If Scamacca works, because Antonio is upgradable, let's be honest, and Aaron Cresswell is definitely upgradable. I still think they probably need one more. I still say West Ham probably need maybe a right back to push Soufal, maybe one more midfielder. But this is a lot more impressive to me than Jesse Lingard and Breuer on loan. So yeah, it's nice to see West Ham do well. And I think if these signs work, West Ham will probably get top 7 at least. And at least push Man United, which is all West Ham fans can really ask for. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and yeah, peace.